Hello, I'm Paden, the product manager for our modeling solution here at InEight. And what that entails is managing that modeling solution, forecasting capabilities, and ensuring that that model application can meet our customers' needs to support the full project lifecycle. Yeah, so prior to joining InEight, I spent all of my professional experience with KBR. It's a large energy and chemical outfit based in Houston, Texas. I actually got my start with the company in the Arlington, Virginia area with the government and infrastructure group there. I was a summer intern with the operation and maintenance branch of that for one summer. I came back the second summer and did intern with the design and construction group. And that's kind of where I've kind of found my footing with the kind of the beautiful chaos that is design and construction. Work with them for the first kind of 4 or 5 years doing embassy upgrade projects as a field engineer. So I had a chance to kind of look at and oversee all sorts of implementations, from things such mundane as kind of the mill work in office buildings to complex, defense mechanisms for the gating systems. You may have seen them around like secure buildings, like the quick propel bollards or security gates. So I've had an opportunity to kind of look at all kind of stuff in that realm. From there, kind of transition out of the government infrastructure space over into the oil and gas industry. And that's where kind of my career professionally took off, transitioning from a field engineer, getting over into project controls management, and later in life, full AWP management. So ensuring that the entire life cycle of a project is going according to a plan. So yeah, that's kind of the history on me. Yeah, I would say I was a bit of a tinkerer. I would take things apart, not a lot of things, take a couple of things apart just to see how the inner mechanisms of it. Was always took a shining to math and science at school. And the thing that probably was the most defining thing around like in 9th or 10th grade, we were looking at, careers and starting salaries post, college. And I remember engineering. I remember aerospace being really high up there and then mechanical engineering being up there. And I was like, mechanical engineering, what's that? I think I could probably do that. And it kind of set me on my sights to mechanical engineering in college. So yeah, it was kind of divine intervention, kind of me meeting something that like just naturally aligned with everything I loved in life. I think back to all of the work that I did being a field engineer, being a project controls manager, being an AWP manager. A lot of that work involved coalescing lots of data from various sources, taking inputs from designers, taking inputs from schedule, cost, control, safety, quality, the entire gambit of that project execution. And, I had, with the limited amount of tools, a lot of that work became, just work hour intensive, where we just had, armies of people processing through information, doing relative connections, making sure that this information talked to this information, then I could, pass that information along to someone else. Part of what, we do here at InEight is making those connections seem as seamless as possible. And, just a practical example of that with, the world of advanced work packaging, that involves bringing, a few things together at the right time so the folks in the field can do their work. So that's bringing people, obviously the workforce together with the materials, equipment. So a lot of all the, upstream activities of that, all of the design and engineering, procurement, all of that has to meet that. And you just think about all of the, all of that data that goes into just, buying one widget on a job and making sure that widget is going to be in your hand when you actually need that widget to kind of perform that work. So I look at all the tools that we have here in InEight. Obviously the model plays a big part in that, being able to visualize how do you execute and plan that work. And then our ability to bring all those, separate solutions into one kind of holistic approach for that project execution. That's what I'm passionate about. And I think, utilizing the InEight tools now, and then where we're going to be in the next 5-10 years, how much that's going to help the folks on these jobs, better execute, and how it's going to allow them to be better informed and make better decisions and ensure that all of their projects are, achieve some level of success. I think, that's what gets me out of bed. I want to make sure that all construction projects, right, are executed to their optimal performance, and I think InEight has the tools in the right mindset across the solutions to make it happen. Yeah, I would, say that the construction industry is a phenomenal place to work. There's so much going on just a simple project, between, designers, engineers, actual folks in the field, using their hands to build things, equipment operators. There's so many people involved in a construction project. And, as we start to bring in some of these newer technologies, like you mentioned, drones and things of that nature, right? I was on a project where, every day we had a giant mound of dirt that had, we were excavating, and every day we do some drone footage of that dirt to kind of do some calculations of how much, dirt was still left to excavate. So, as technology advances, there's always applications to help support the construction industry. And I think we all need to be aware of, where these new technologies can fit and kind of help out the construction industry. Obviously construction industry is lagging sometimes, but if you have a passion, you can bring that expertise and say, hey, I have a particular passion and the technology that I think can, supplement this, application or be used for this purpose in the construction industry. And construction is always looking for, better ways to do things. So they're really receptive to things. Just kind of, you have to kind of put that business case in front of them and allow for kind of, that execution and that work to kind of show them the way. And once you kind of start to show them, they're quick to adopt it. But yeah, it's a phenomenal industry. I think, I've had an opportunity to, travel the world, work in all sorts of locations, work with all sorts of people, and, everybody's has different backgrounds. You don't necessarily need to be a designer or engineer. There's folks from all over the world, and it's a industry that looks for the best ideas, or for the solution. So if you have a passion, if you have some energy, if you have some good ideas, please bring them to the construction industry. We welcome that, and we need that to push us forward.